Hello and welcome. How are you? It's breakfast all day. Christy and Alonso and Matt. We're all here in the paradise in Palos Verdes. Paradise by the sea. Paradise on the sea cliffs. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm hoping these guys will stick around for a little bit longer besides just the podcast. We can go look for peacocks together. Can we hang out for a bit and have tea and go... Because a block from my house, actually usually in my front yard, there are quite frequently peacocks. Will you come hang out with me and look for peacocks?
Maybe.
It's really fun, you guys. It's really pleasant. They're beautiful.
I'm sure that they are.
They just hang out. They drop feathers. You guys are all
Are you
welcome.
having a lonesome day, Christy?
Are you turning into Flannery O'Connor? Are you knitting sweaters for the peacocks?
Oh, if only they would wear them. They scurry off.
Maybe you need another dog.
They scurry off awkwardly. So we have actual movies to talk about as well. This is Super Bowl weekend, which means that nothing good is coming out. I think they just have expectations that everyone's going to be home all weekend long. So,
I am, because the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years.
That's right.
Great.
This is Super Bowl one, right?
No, Super Bowl III. They won the third one. They lost the first one.
Okay,
they
to
won
the Packers.
They won the third one. So it's almost 50 years since they've been. Or maybe it is straight up 50 years. And as someone who is from Kansas City, I'm kind of excited.
What are you going to do on Sunday to watch the game?
I don't know, actually, because I don't have cable. So,
do you need cable?
I'm going to have to either see if it goes through Pluto or I'm going to have to go to somebody's house.
Okay. Right. Alonso, what are you going to do for Super Bowl Sunday?
I got no plans. I probably will watch J-Lo in the commercials.
Okay.
That's usually my game plan for this sort of thing.
Okay.
So,
Who's going to win the Puppy Bowl? That's the real question.
No, it's in TiVo. I've got Puppy Bowl happening. There have been some years where we'll go out of our way to watch some really long art film on Super Bowl Sunday. Like we watched Jacques Rivette's Out one year, and this Japanese film called Happy Hour that's 5 hours long. But then also ate queso, so we were still staying true to the spirit of Super Bowl. By the way, before, you said nothing good is opening this weekend. I hear good things about Gretel and Hansel,
which I guess they screened. I guess they screened it last night. I did not get anything about Gretel and Hansel.
I got zero, but luckily Bibbs did, and he reviewed it for me at TheWrap, and he liked it a lot. And I need to catch up on Osgood Perkins because everyone is saying he's amazing. Okay. He did the Black Coat's Daughter, and I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House.
I've seen none of those.
The latter is on Netflix. Okay. So
Alonso's life story. I am the pretty thing that lives in the house.
I am that lives in the 2-bedroom apartment.
So we're going to talk about the one thing that we have all seen at least, and that is the rhythm section. Which is sort of Blake Lively's Atomic Blonde, or as I called it, walking out of it, Atomic Blah. Who wants to describe
or
it?
Her La Femme Nikita.
It is.
I will. Okay. So Blake Lively plays a brilliant college student who goes into depression when her entire family is killed in an airplane that explodes over the Atlantic. And of course, this is the kind of movie where a woman who is upset has no choice but to become a drug addict and sex worker. Then she is approached by a reporter who claims to know that the plane was blown up. And she manages to get him killed too, and then winds up going to Jude Law to have him turn her into an assassin so she can kill the people responsible. And none of this makes a lick of sense. And there's a lot of globetrotting and a lot of wigs.
So Reed Moreno directed this. And
yes.
Did you guys see I Think We're Alone Now?
I did not, but she has directed several episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
Right, I think she won an Emmy, I want to say, for the pilot. And so one thing I do appreciate about this film, there's a couple things I appreciate before I launch into why it's bad. So there's an imperfection about the way Blake Lively trains and ultimately fights. She's not slick. She's not perfect. This is not Red Sparrow. This is not Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like the fragility and the humanity and the vulnerability within this frantic desire for revenge. Yeah. Also, because you have a woman who is directing a movie like this, and she was a cinematographer for a long time. There's not that male gaze of ogling her. There's a female gaze of it's clear-eyed as to who this woman is and what she wants. And so I appreciate that about it. Having said that, it makes these giant leaps in terms of emotional connection and logic. At one point, first of all, why does Jude Law take her in? There's absolutely no reason for him to say yes
why
to any of that.
Why does the reporter go find her? Right. She has nothing to add to his story.
Why has nobody figured out before this, 3 years after the plane crash, that it was actually an act of terrorism. A lot of things like that.
Yeah.
But there's a point where Blake Lively makes some comment about how I've been here for months with you and you've not taught me how to fight. I'm like, you've been here for months? Like there's no emotional indication that they have bonded in a way that theoretically they should if they're together in this tiny cabin in the middle of nowhere for months.
Right.
And there's that. And then there's this whole Sterling K. Brown thing. He's this former CIA officer who now sells the intel.
He's
he
an
gleans
information broker.
for money.
Yeah.
He's in Madrid. And like there's supposedly a romantic or sexual connection with him that makes no
Comes
sense.
out of nowhere. Building off your thing about the idea of her being not a trained assassin, the best sequence in the film is she does this very inept hit job and then has to like get into a car chase through the windy streets of Tangier, and it is shot in this very panicky way of like, if you or I were thrown into that situation, we're like, yeah, it's not, there's no sort of like 007 coolness about it. And incidentally, this is produced by Barbara Broccoli,
right?
Which is, I thought, kind of an odd choice. But
so I think that's because there would be a hope to make this into a series, because this is based on a book by a guy named
Mark
Burnell, and there's a series of these books.
Oh, I see.
And so where
there's not going to be
no, there's not.
Right, but where the Blake Lively character continues to put on the Petra role and take people out.
Okay.
Have you read any of these books before?
No.
Okay, but like the last shot.
No, there's not robots in it or dragons, so forget it.
But this is not a spoiler. Like the last shot definitely indicates that like they hope to continue with this person, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, this movie is just it's inane. I mean, like so much of the film is about people dying because she hesitates. Like literally the entire plot. Like her family dies because like she made them get on that plane and then she wound up not getting on it herself. She gets the journalist died by like not shooting somebody when she should have. She gets innocent children dead because she fails to do something else. Like it's just constantly all this collateral damage because she's dithering, and I'm like, this is our heroine? Come on.
She should like get the clue that perhaps this is not the line of work for her.
Yes, maybe look into something
The
else.
subtitle for this movie is Move It.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot, Blake Lively. I feel like this movie is our punishment for not giving her an Oscar nomination that she well deserved for a simple favor. So it's like, okay, you didn't honor the fact that like I played this really interesting, funny, complicated character and also was super glam. So I'm gonna play the drug addict, sex worker, and then like wear a lot of wigs and do a British accent. And now you're gonna take me seriously.
A very spotty British accent.
What's frustrating about this is, although these are not. The remake is not a good one, but this is not far off of Femme Nikita, right? Like, take the drug addict, train her to be a killer. This one allegedly would, have more agency. No pun intended, but and I'm willing to overlook a lot of leaps of logic in a movie that moves quickly and is exciting. This movie's tedious, and that's the cardinal sin of any movie. It's boring. Yeah, it's just. And why does it need to be 2 hours?
It's almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Like, oh.
Also, if we had known even like a smidgen more about who she was prior to this plane crash, it would have helped us to connect with her somewhat. Because as it is, we see her in the beginning, they have these increasingly tight close-ups on her face to show us this is Blake Lively, and she's gotten grungy, and this is who she is. And then intercut between them are these like happy, brightly lit flashbacks to, life with her family when she had, soft, luxurious blonde hair.
And there's no dialogue on those sequences. They're all shot in like 2 rooms. You don't really get any kind of feel for who she was, who they were, what their relationship was, except it looks like this sort of gauzy Hallmark card commercial.
Yeah, and that's by design because I think they want us to like be learning along the way with her. But I feel like we cannot have the connection that we need to because we never know who she was to know who she becomes.
Right.
Like I think you need some sort of foundational connection with her as a character.
And I have to point out, there is a scene where Blake Lively attacks a bowl of oatmeal. That was Dave White was losing his mind.
Because he thought it was great.
It's just he has this thing about actress bites where like people will take like 2 atoms of a cake and put it on a fork and like I get it, they have to do multiple takes, you don't want to barf and stuff, but she is like slapping the oatmeal and scraping the bowl and blah 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 blah, like it's so overdone and like distracting, and then she'll occasionally put like 2 little oat things on the spoon and like with her teeth. I couldn't stop watching it. It was so crazy.
And then that leads to the big one take fight scene,
yes,
which is actually pretty cool. The car chase that you referenced, where the DP is physically inside the car,
right,
and it's all one long take theoretically. The fight scene in the cabin, in the kitchen, is also one take, and I like the messiness of it. I like the animalism of it because it's not slick, beautiful, perfect choreography.
Right.
It's like it's primal. It's like slamming each other into cabinets and tables and things. So every once in a while, this thing works, and I admire Blake Lively's commitment to it.
Sure,
and it's sort of a combination of various tendency she has shown over the years to get away from that glamorous supermodel thing she has going, where between like The Town and
the
also
Shallows.
and The Shallows showed she could be a serious viable action star because she's statuesque and she's strong and she's striking, like she can do all of that. And I just wish this script were stronger for her. Mark Burnell, who wrote this book, also wrote the screenplay, and I suspect that what he was trying to do was cram as much in as he possibly could of his own book within the constraints of a reasonable running time, and that's why you hit all those moments that he wants to hit, but there's no connective tissue.
Yeah, no, I'm totally team Blake Lively. I like her, and I wanted to like this movie, and I was just it's just one of those ones where like within about 20 minutes you're like, oh, this is not this is not working, and this is not not gonna work.
The trailer's cut like it's going to be this really exciting kind of espionage thriller, right? This revenge thriller, and they forgot the thrilling part, right? I mean, like there's a couple spots, like you said, the car chase scene, the fight scene, where it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. This is moving, and that would fit in a different movie,
right?
But the rest of it, it's just like it's just slow and boring. I mean, it's well shot, but there's the rhythm section has no rhythm.
So the title comes from this idea of like calming your breath to in moments of panic. Yeah.
That's another thing. We're told over and over again when Jude Law is teaching her how to shoot, always shoot twice. She never does it. Never.
Because she's not very good at her job.
Well, yeah, it's like, but like that's the one bit of advice that they make it a point for us to like get out of his training, and she never, anyway. So yeah, as J.K. Simmons would say, not my tempo.
Ignati, my old co-host Ignati Vishnevetsky had a very funny review for the AV Club where he said that Jude Law stands around in rugged clothing like he's shooting a watch commercial.
Yeah.
You guys, look at the cat in my backyard. Oh my God.
Oh, look, there's a cat.
There's like a random calico
I will
cat.
try and get a picture of it. So
like, I know you guys can't. Oh, he ran away. Oh, kitty. Anyway, do cats wander into your yard, Alonso?
No, but we have a lot of yappy dogs in my building, so I'll probably stay away.
There really was a cat. I promise you guys. I'm not seeing things. Anyway, I wanted to like this. I am saying, what did I say? 4.2.
I said 3.5.
Okay. What did I say? 4.5?
You said 4.
4. Yeah, 4.
So our numbers are 3.9. I don't know where it is. Low 40s on the tomato meter.
Yeah, not great on the tomato meter.
It's not good. Don't see it.
Yeah, no, it was a letdown. Anyway.
No, this is the kind of movie that if you are having trouble sleeping, when it comes on cable,
ask your doctor
Netflix,
if the rhythm section is right for you.
And it'll knock you, like, lie on the couch, watch it, and it'll knock you right out. It's a wonderful soporific.
Thank you for watching. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Follow us on social media at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And go visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We talk about trailers. We talk about TV. We're currently going through HBO's The Outsider and lots of other fun stuff. So check it out if you've already joined our Patreon. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.